it's a telecast that means so much more than just baseball. We call it This One's For You, our annual game for the troops. Tonight it's the Phillies and the Cardinals. And in Afghanistan, they're watching tonight live. And I should say this morning for them. 4:30 in the morning, Bagram Airfield in Afghanistan. And just moments ago, specialist William Johansson surprised his girlfriend, Shelby Fetch. She is a huge Cardinals fan. She didn't realize that he would be catching that first pitch back in the States. And the hugs and kisses would continue after that, because about a minute after that, Al Rabowski, I'm Dan McLaughlin, he proposed, and yes, she did say yes. Not a dry eye in the house either with that.
No. It was a very special moment. He's actually been stateside for 48 hours and avoided even making contact or using his phone because she might know that he was stateside. So it was a very, very touching moment.
We love doing this, don't we?
This is very, very special, especially on the Memorial Day weekend.
Absolutely. So it's a very special night. The families, the friends of our soldiers, they are here at the ballpark. There's signs. You'll see them all night long during our telecast. We'll also visit with some of the troops in Afghanistan. This one's for you. Met in the playoffs and the division series a year ago. A thrilling series that was won by St. Louis. Last night, just a crazy game here in the Gateway City that the Phillies would pull out late. Nearly 40 hits in that contest. So we're getting you set for game number 2. It's our annual This One's For You broadcast here on Fox Sports Midwest. And we're going everywhere across the country and the Armed Forces Network. Let's turn now downstairs live and
the singing of our national
sit back
anthem.
and enjoy tonight's national anthem.
The Junior J singers from Marshfield, Missouri. And they're under the direction of Beth Birch.
Oh, say, can you see my National Guard Agribusiness Development Team 6 at Forward Operating Base Finley Shields in Afghanistan. We want to thank everyone for the avalanche of support we received from all the churches, businesses, organizations, and individuals across the Show Me State. Thank you, Missouri. We appreciate you, and we couldn't do this without you. One more thing, Sergeant Major.
Beach Warriors, go Cards!
And we say thank you to you, the men and women of our armed forces. It's a special night here on Fox Sports Midwest. It's a night we always look forward to bringing to you. It's baseball, and it comes your way next.
Just a game.
Putting their lives on the line every day, and I can't imagine the courage that they have to do that.
Those guys are real heroes.
I want to say hello to my 5-week-old son Brady, my wife Amber.
I miss you guys and all my friends, but I'll see you guys soon, especially my biggest hero, my dad.
Just want to say hi, Mom. Hope I'm making you proud.
It's an honor to be able to go and play the game and have these men and women that are serving our country be able to watch.
You know, without them, I don't think we would be here being able to do what I do today.
This is Specialist Alan Collins, stationed with the 175th Military Police Battalion.
Lieutenant Colonel Frank Rodman with the Missouri National Guard.
Specialist Dominic Ashley with the 175th MP Battalion.
Tonight's telecast.
For all that you do,
This one is for you.
Live look at our troops in Afghanistan. 4 in the morning, so what? They're ready for some baseball here tonight. Along with Al Rabaski, I'm Dan McLaughlin. It's our annual This One's For You. And Jimmy Rollins will lead it off, in the first pitch is hit in the air to right field. Beltran is over near the line and runs out of room. We're underway here in St. Louis, and what a gorgeous evening it is. And let's say it now and say it many times tonight, Al. We thank our troops for everything they do for us and allowing us to enjoy the freedoms that we do, like taking in a baseball game tonight.
Family section you're looking at here at Busch Stadium. There'll be signs you can tweet, and we'll run those on the scroll.
This is popped up into shallow center field. Robinson calling out Green to make the catch. Let's take a look at the Phillies lineup. For Charlie Manuel tonight, Jimmy Rollins, then the speedster Juan Pierre, the former Astro Hunter Pence, Ruiz, what a year he's off to, Victorino, Wigginton, Polanco, Galvis, and Lee. And it's a former Phil on the mound for St. Louis, and that's Kyle Loesch, a record of 5-1.
A couple no decisions last time out. He's given up a lot of hits, but for the most part, Kyle's had a very good season. Good ERA, under 3. Kyle has really helped himself by not walking many. He's got a 4-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, but his counterpart is 8-to-1.
Last start was against the Dodgers, and that's pulled foul. 11 hits, but only 3 runs, as he was able to minimize the damage. And basically every time out, Al, he has given the Cardinals a chance to win his starts.
And that's really the key, is to go as deep into a ball game, keep them down.
Pierre taps it in front of the plate, and Molina on the run throws it to the back of Juan Pierre, and it's a base hit.
Well, Pierre has that great speed. It's not uncommon for him to have an infield single, but they could rule that an error, as with an accurate throw and hitting him on the left arm, they do score a base hit, so he does not get the error.
But so many times you'll see a runner like Pierre move towards the infield to make that a tougher throw, but he was going right down the line. So here's Hunter Pence, who they picked up last season. Hit .324 with 11 home runs in limited time with the Phillies, but only .211 in the 5 games in postseason play against the Cardinals.
And Hunter yesterday was 0 for 5 when his teammates had a season high 18 hits.
And you have to keep an eye on Juan Pierre, getting up there in age, but still he has a very good speed.
6 stolen bases this year, and the Phillies in general have a very good and high percentage of successful steals, but you're going against the best in Yadier Molina.
Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that's a strike. Troops throughout the world, not just in Afghanistan, are watching us here tonight. All over the country as well. And our director, Tom Mee, will be going to that shot that you see right now an awful lot, so that those troops that are watching hopefully can get a glimpse of a family member or a friend that may be in attendance tonight. There are signs that are all over the ballpark for the troops, and just a reminder for those of you watching at home, what you see there, the troops are on about a 7-second delay. So when the Cardinals hit a home run at some point tonight or score 10 runs, whatever the case may be, either one, you'll see those guys having a little fun. Fly ball into center, and Robinson makes the catch. We have had just some amazing stories that have come out of this ball game throughout the years, of what the soldiers experience, their family members. Last year we had a young lady up here that hadn't seen her husband for months, and a very emotional moment for her There we go. There's the delay coming into play.
It's a little more than 7 seconds, I believe, but what did you say that was so funny?
I'm trying to figure that out. What happened? They must have switched the transmission on us. Here's Carlos Ruiz. And Ruiz is off to a great start. And in many ways, Al, he's been the MVP this year for the Phillies.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Charlie Manuel was telling me yesterday, everything he hits just falls in. But he's also the 7 home runs, the 29 RBIs, leads all National League catchers, and he's second in batting average in the National League.
Without Utley, without Howard, big names not in this lineup because of injuries. Don't count them out just yet. And if you missed it, roughly about, I'd say 25 minutes ago, we had specialist William Johansson. He's 22 years old, and he surprised his girlfriend, Shelby, who's a St. Louis and huge Cardinals fan. He's from Longview, Washington. They've known each other for over a couple of years. They've been dating, and he surprised her by coming home. She didn't know that. That drops in, and that is a fair ball. Pierre is going to be held up at third, and a strong throw in by Beltran. A double for Ruiz. Let's take a look at the Cardinals defense tonight. Holiday, Robinson, Beltran in the outfield. Freeze for Cow, Green and Adams along the infield. Behind the plate, the 4-time Gold Glover, Yadier Molina. So there they are right there. That's William on the right and Shelby in the middle there on the left. And so he is there to catch the ceremonial first pitch. She has no idea. She goes out to the mound. She throws the ball, and her emotions told the rest of the story. But we weren't done with the whole story. The best part was then he proposed.
And she said yes.
And she said yes.
He'd actually been stateside for 48 hours and did not use his cell phone because she'd know that he was home. And he had been in communication with her family, asked permission for the marriage proposal. Everyone was aware of it but Shelby.
She was thinking he would be home on Sunday. And the couple was introduced by specialist Nicholas Hagler, who is Johansson's friend and also in the 463rd. And Hagler is watching this morning in Afghanistan. Here's a 1-1 pitch to Shane Victorino with 2 runners on.
Now Loesch pitched for the Phillies at one time, and as you mentioned, they are in last place but at 500 now. They're a good road ball club, and they have been ever since Charlie Manuel's taken over. But a lot of clubs, you know, 46 games in, if you're at 500, you really don't worry about that, and they're going to get healthy.
Is this about the time, Al, Memorial Day, where...
There you go.
Oh, by the way, that's the gentleman that introduced William and Shelby. That's Nicholas Hagler. You know, all his buddies over there are saying, nice job. Sarcastically, maybe.
Probably.
Hit sharply to first. And stepping on the bag and rumbling to it, Matt Adams. What a moment we had here tonight. The first of many. This one's for you on Fox Sports Midwest. Lead it off, a bounce back year for him. Then Tyler Green and Matt Holliday. Beltran, Freeze, Molina, Matt Adams, Shane Robinson, and Kyle Loesch. Very tough test tonight for this Cardinals bunch, as they will get former Cy Young Award winner, big-time pitcher, Cliff Lee.
Look at that. 5 walks, 40 strikeouts, an ERA at 2.66, and he's 0-2, getting the third least amount of run support. Just Phillies have scored just 9 runs while Lee's been in the game. He even pitched 10 shutout innings in a game and didn't get a win.
And here's the defense behind Lee tonight with Pierre in left, Victorino, the flying Hawaiian is what they call him. He's in center, Pence in right. Behind the plate, we mentioned that Ruiz is having an MVP-type season, and they were thankful that he took a foul ball and no broken bones the other day. They were very concerned about that, but no problems.
He got hit by a pitch last night, and he leads the National League in being hit by pitches at 6. So it's kind of that good and bad. You can ill afford to have him get injured.
Maybe a bit surprising, where the Cardinals historically have struggled against lefties, it seems like, especially soft-tossing lefties, but this year they're 9-4. Byproduct of all the switch hitters that we see now with Beltran. Berkman when healthy. Good news on him, by the way. And Rafael Furcal, who's at the plate.
Well, Furcal's just been outstanding as a setup man, or the igniter of the offense. Among the league leaders with his .341 average, 21 RBIs, leads all major league leadoff batters.
Really a resurgent year for Furcal, and looking like the player that he was a handful of years ago. And the biggest thing, I think, for Mike Matheny at this point, Al, is just trying to keep Furcal healthy in the lineup along with Carlos Beltran.
He's had a lot of injuries over his career.
Chops one to the left side. Taken there by Polanco, and there's one away.
By the way, apparently they take the hit away from Juan Pierre and put up an error. I think that really is the correct scoring.
One of the nicest and hardest working people in Major League Baseball is Juan Pierre. He has earned everything that he's gotten that's come his way. Here's Tyler Green, the 28-year-old from Raleigh, North Carolina. Primarily in the minor leagues, he played shortstop. But up here with the success of Rafael Furcal, Tyler Green, who only played 230 innings at second base prior to this season, is getting the bulk of the playing time there.
Fowler's had a couple big games. Trying to get him to be a little more consistent. He's played very good defense, and that's what's kept him in the lineup.
You can see in that shot, the elbow has dropped a bit. The back elbow for Tyler Green, and in doing so, they feel it's quickened up his bat. A rarity that he will choke up slightly with 2 strikes.
You see how he kind of holds it high. So when he doesn't have that elbow down, it makes it a much longer swing.
Strikeout for Cliff Lee in his first of the night.
Singing cowboy Joe West with his first call, and it's a good pitch. Pitcher's pitch right on the black.
2 down and nobody on base for Matt Holliday.
Somebody wants to say hello to Dad or Mom.
Rotation is just unbelievable. The numbers a year ago put together by the Phillies, namely the big 3. Roy Halladay, tonight starter Cliff Lee, and Cole Hamels, who's off to a terrific start this year. They finished 2nd, 3rd, and 5th in the Cy Young ballot.
Halladay, who will be pitching on Sunday. Good matchup against Wainwright, who's coming off a shutout. Boy, isn't that great to see Wainwright being that effective coming off the Tommy John surgery.
Really saw him establish the fastball the other night. His cutter was much better, and
the key, I think, Al, was no walks. You know, previous 2 starts, he had 9 walks combined, and his control seemed to be a lot better.
And that's Adam Wainwright is not somebody that walks people. He attacks the strike zone, learning how to pitch with a little diminished velocity, and coming off the Tommy John, the secondary pitches are going to be, they're going to be in and out. You aren't going to have the consistency when he won 29 games in 09 and 10.
3-2 on Holiday. Last time that we saw Cliff Lee, and there's the remnants of the surgery, the Tommy John. You saw the scar there in the elbow. Last time we saw Cliff Lee, it was game 2 of the division series. And Holiday shoots one foul and out of play. And in that game, he could not hold a 4-0 lead. And how rare is that? Well, last season, when the Phillies scored 4 or more for Lee, they were 14-2 in those games. He wins that game, now they probably win the series.
Absolutely. And against St. Louis, he's thrown shutouts in 2 of his 4 career starts against the Cardinals.
The 3-2 pitch taken high, so a 2-out walk by Holiday extends the inning to Beltran. Through all the hits, the long game, dramatic comeback by the Cardinals 4 different times last night. It's Raul Valdez, who pitched for the Cardinals, you might remember, briefly, when they were just trying to get anybody from the left side, and that was his first win since 2010.
Well, and he was warming up. I kind of said, hey, bring him in. And then he wins the game. So, wasn't the Cardinals' fault. I jinxed him. Said Ruiz is having an MVP type season. How about Beltran? Leading the National League in home runs, 2nd in RBIs.
And that's fouled back, 0-2.
Carlos told me that natural right-handed batter, and when he was in the minor leagues with the Kansas City Royals, he told the farm director that he wanted to become a switch hitter. The farm director said no, and he said, I feel it's the best way I can play every day. And he went along with, he said, nope, it's my career. I'm going to do it, and it's paid off.
On the inside corner, it's a strikeout. So Cliff Lee strikes out 2. Special guest coming up from Afghanistan when we return. Sergeant Mark Hillman is in Afghanistan, and he has helped coordinate this with his unit and with Fox Sports Midwest and the St. Louis Cardinals, along with Albert Bosky. I'm Dan McLaughlin. And Mark, first and foremost, bear with us with the delay, but I understand you are a huge Cardinals fan. What's this day mean for you and the rest of the guys and gals over there?
Well, it means a great deal for us over here, being deployed, doing our nation's work, that the soldiers get a piece of home, and they get to see their hometown Cardinals whoop up on the Phillies.
My understanding is you have an impressive memorabilia collection. So does that collection include a hungo as well?
It has now been added to my collection thanks to Fox Midwest. I truly appreciate their support that they provided for us to show our support for the St. Louis Cardinals.
And tell us a little bit about what you're doing, the work over there with you and the rest of your unit.
Well, we are doing quite a unique mission. We are in charge of the law enforcement mission here on Bagram Airfield, making it a safer place for all the service members and the civilians working over here to continue to fight on terror.
Now, I know you'd like to see your wife, Tanya. She is here at Busch Stadium. She is heading up the 463rd Family Readiness Unit. And you can hold up that hungo and say, honey, look, I've been to Afghanistan, but the hungo came with me. And hopefully you'll be able to spot some family members and friends as well. What is this like for them, the family and the friends that come to the ballpark tonight? There's a base hit by Polanco.
Well, for the family and friends, I truly believe to get a sight of their loved one over here, watching the game, enjoying the Cardinals play is truly great for them, because they haven't seen them, in most cases, at least 6 months now.
First Sergeant, I know here in St. Louis we have a great USO. They do a lot of great work for all the service members. But what can our audience do to help you out when you're deployed?
Well, one of the greatest things that they can do is their continued support for the soldiers that have been over here and fighting this fight for at least 10 years. Volunteering their time at the USO, volunteering their times around the installations throughout the country.
Well, Sergeant Mark Hillman, we appreciate your time. Sit back, get a little slice of St. Louis here tonight. Enjoy the baseball, and thank you for your service. And please tell the rest of the unit we appreciate everything that you guys are doing for us. And get them going over there. I know it's early in the morning, but wake those guys up, will you?
Well, Oh, absolutely. I can definitely motivate them, and I'd like to say I love you to my family. And I seen my grandson with my son holding them. Enjoy the game, guys.
That is awesome.
So that was the little boy we were showing.
Possibly, yeah. That's great. 0-2 the count here on Galvis with one out and a runner at first. Ground ball right side, base hit. 8th place hitter will reach. Polanco will stay put at second base. 2 hits after the fly out to left, and it brings in the pitcher, Cliff Lee.
Galvis having a nice little season for him. He's a rookie. He had 3 hits last night. He's a switch hitter. He would be playing at Double-A last season primarily.
Anticipating a bunt here, so the corners are in. Let's talk a little bit how you want to play this, Al. You've got Lee, Freeze, and Adams coming in. Lee showing bunt.
Well, you want to get the lead runner at third base.
Swinging away and drives it out to left. Holiday is back in, makes the catch.
And they kept the lead runner at second.
There you go.
So usually when you're in that situation, you're trying to do what we call a butcher boy play. You want to hit down on the ball, so you don't want to hit into a double play. If Lee hit it out to left, no advancement.
Lee with more hits than sacks this year, and it brings in 33-year-old Jimmy Rollins, who's now the longest tenured pro athlete in Philly. 5th in franchise history in games played, and he hits it down the right field line. Foul. The switch hitters had a heck of a career. There was some uncertainty as to whether or not they would bring him back, but they bring him back with a 3-year deal. Could turn into a 4th year for the 2nd-round pick back in 1996. The Phillies, the only organization he's known.
He's rejoined the ball club as he spent a little time, and appropriately, with maternity leave, as his wife presented him with the first child.
He had missed 3 games due to the birth of his son, Cameron Drew Rollins. So yesterday came out early for BP. You just don't see guys stay with one franchise their whole career anymore. Few and far between. 1-1 pitch.
Good off-speed pitch by Loesch.
And now you look at the Phillies and their success. It's 5 straight NL East Division championships, back-to-back seasons with the Major League's best record, and Jimmy Rollins has only seen 1 losing season since he arrived. Came up in 2000. He's been a big part as to why they win.
Absolutely. Not only is he get things started for him, remember the one year he's MVP and plays just about every day. Numbers are down right now, but you probably expect him to be pretty close to his baseball card when it's all said and done. Boy, that pitch looked good, and you know Kyle Loesch wanted it.
He was walking off the mound ready to head to the dugout, grab a bat.
Like it was right there, but.
And now, predictably, base hit into right. Run will score. Jimmy Rollins drives him in, and that's Polanco scoring the first run of the game. It's 1-0, and the 8th RBI for Jimmy Rollins this year. Could see that coming.
Sure could. Breaking ball down and in. That's a sweet spot for a left-handed hitter, and he just kind of hooked the ball and picked up the RBI, and they have the 1-0 lead.
Juan Pierre reached on the air by Yadier Molina. And the Cardinals have committed 26 errors this year. They came in 2nd best in the National League with 25 errors, tied with the Phillies. There's a strike on the outside corner.
This Philly ball club really does play very good ball on the road, particularly last year. A year ago, the Phillies set a club record with a Major League best 50-31 road record.
1 ball and 1 strike. Runners at the corners for the Phillies.
I mentioned Charlie Manuel at the helm. This is his 8th year as manager of the Phillies, but if you go back to during his time, they have just been the best on the road in the National League. Posted one Major League leading 325 to 261, 555 record on the road.
Runner goes from first. It's a ground ball to the right side. Adams commits an error. That's his first, and for the Cardinals, they're 2nd in this game, and it leads to a 2-0 lead now for the Phillies. This is something that Matt Adams was working with Jose Oquendo on. This exact play at about 2 o'clock this afternoon here at Busch Stadium.
Well, and you wonder if Jose Oquendo is going to say you ranged too far. And Tyler Green is very athletic, kind of took that ball away from the second baseman, and it would have been a difficult throw with Loesch trying to cover the bag.
Now Hunter Pence. And in the mind of Kyle Loesch, he was thinking he was out of the inning with a strikeout. of Rollins, and instead that turned into a base hit. The error on Adams and now Hunter Pence.
You know, that's exactly what his mindset was, and you really have to guard against that. You know, you really can't kind of shut down an inning if you get a call works against you.
They've gotten away with that pitch. Molina set up inside and caught more of the plate. I'm sure that Los wanted. Nothing in 2. Besides going live tonight to our troops, we also have taped video greetings from Missouri National Guard airmen and soldiers in Egypt, Afghanistan, Iraq, all over the world. One-two pitch to Hunter Pence. Mention how Tyler Green chokes up with 2 strikes. Well, you see Hunter Pence and really out. Kind of a lost art. You just don't see guys choke up on the bat all that much anymore.
No, you don't. And you don't see guys with 1 glove and 1 bare hand.
Hit sharply to second. Green thought about going to second base and goes to Adams. The Phillies strand 2, but they pick up 2 on a special night here on Fox Sports Midwest. And Jose Oquendo will be there waiting for you, working with all the infielders. So talking a little bit, I'm sure, Al, about ranging as far as he did, as you mentioned, to his right. Let's check in with Jim Hayes, who has a very special guest.
Yeah, Dan, I'm with Sergeant First Class Drew Ishmael, who knows a little bit about our This One's For You telecast over there. Last year, he was in the booth with Dan and Al. And in 2010, you were actually in Afghanistan talking to your wife, who was back here in St. Louis via satellite. So you know firsthand what it means to the guys over there to get a little slice of St. Louis brought to them.
It does. You can't beat this kind of situation because everybody is here because they're there. So, I mean, I'm recalling a lot of the happiness I felt being able to see my wife and talk to my wife and leave a message for my wife. And then last year she was already in training. She's deployed now, and you know, she gets to watch this hopefully and see that we love her as well. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, the tables are turned this time. You're home. You got 2 kids. She's in Egypt right now, trying to find the game on satellite, working at that. And I know you miss her.
I do. I miss her a lot. She kept everything together. I'll tell you right now, this is the harder side of this. The families work so hard in keeping everything together for the soldier when they come home, and we just want to make sure those guys are safe when they come home as soon as they can.
Last thing, you help coordinate all the satellite hookups overseas. couple of years ago. How big a job is that?
Well, especially coming from a guy who knows nothing about satellites, it was a pretty big job. We got 2 portable units flown in, and we were able to get them to 2 separate sites for the Missouri National Guard troops, and we had a great time. It worked out wonderfully. The whole game, we were able to talk back and forth between the booth and Afghanistan, which is just absolutely an amazing feat.
If your wife was able to find the right satellite to see the game, what would you say to her?
Honey, I love you. It's time to come home, and just do your time and come home soon and come home safe.
Thanks to you and your family for all you do for us.
Thank you very much.
Guys?
All right, Jim, thank you. Great stuff. Tell him we said hello, as we saw him right before we came back. And we said, why isn't he with us? We get to visit with him every year.
Yeah.
Very nice man. This is the 3rd straight year that we have done this. This one's for you, the 5th overall on Fox Sports Midwest. And the feedback that we get has just been tremendous from Cardinal fans, the families, the soldiers. And a big part of it is you at home. Twitter.com/FS Midwest with the hashtag This One's For You. Fox Sports Midwest is showing this game without commercial enhancements. And we'd like to thank all of our loyal and gracious sponsors for allowing us to bring this game to you and to our troops all over the world. The section of the family and friends of the soldiers, many of them dressed in the bright yellow shirts, or some of them just come in their cardinal red. Crew has been here many hours trying to put this together to make sure we can get this to the fans and get this to the troops. And Adam trying to get to second base.
Well, Matt Adams, who was recalled from AAA when Berkman went on the disabled list, and they had some good news about that, but had a rough night last night, 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, and off a tough left-hander. Good to see him turn on a ball. He's got a real quick stroke, short to the ball, and he hits this ball hard right down the line. Last year, he's minor league player of the year, also the Texas League player of the year. Hit .331, 30-plus home runs, 109 RBIs, and they only played 5 months in the minor leagues. So quite a season, and he is projected to have quite a career.
I know you're going to get a kick out of this. Cliff Lee, 6 shutouts last year. Most in the major leagues in a season since 1989. 6. Little different era of baseball now, Al, with the starters not going deeper into games and the specialization of the bullpen.
I just was in a conversation with Charlie Manuel and Rich Doobie, the pitching coach, and we were talking about Cliff Lee, because he pitched 10 innings of shutout baseball in one game. He did go on the disabled list after with a slight oblique muscle sprain. But I said, Bob Gibson had 251 wins. How many complete games? And these guys, Charlie's in that era. Doobie is a little bit younger, but they're both talking about, Rich said 142, Charlie said 158, and then absolutely stunned when I said he had 251 wins and 255 complete games, and that didn't count the times he went 9-10 innings and got no decisions. But it just stuns me that baseball people are used to now 4, 5, 6 complete games. A staff might have 10. And that 10 would probably lead the National League.
It is amazing.
Back in those days, they'd have 28. 34 starts, 28 complete games.
Robinson, that's a fair ball. Somehow, some way, it stays fair. Shane Robinson will dig for 2, and he drives in the first run of the game for St. Louis. Back-to-back doubles.
Almost identical. Adams swinging from the left side. Hit his hard, and then the right hand hitting Robinson. Ball up and away. He's a high ball hitter. But how can you expect that one as Ty Wigginton makes a great effort? And good to see the kids get the Cardinals on the scoreboard.
Reaction in Afghanistan.
I think I saw one Phillies fan. She wasn't clapping.
No, did not look happy one bit. That's the couple
Shelby.
right there that was engaged prior to our first pitch, and now they're having a chance to see it in the stadium. That is amazing. How about the technology?
Well, you just think about
what we're doing
what
tonight,
barren and what the environment is in Afghanistan, and then for the, as you say, the technology for them to see this game right here with
who knows,
slight
maybe
delay.
They're watching on YouTube. They could quickly see it there. Somebody could have emailed it to them. And when we first did this, I believe the first game that we did was with you and Joe Buck, and the Boston Red Sox were in town. It was at the old stadium, and there was a rain delay, and thankfully no technical difficulties at night. And it was a long rain delay in which you were able to converse with a number of the troops. And the game is secondary here tonight for us, but it truly was then, because it was just a nice long conversation you were able to have with the troops.
It was approximately 2.5-hour rain delay, and I remember one thing, and I'll get emotional just thinking about it, where we got an email from a mom that was telling us that her grandson was a sergeant that was over in Iraq, and the grandpa was there with his 2 sons at the stadium. We found the grandfather and the 2 sons, asked the sergeant to come to the microphone, and we're talking with him as he's getting a look at his film.
Right. Amazing. 1-2 the count here on Kyle Loesch. 2-1, Phillies on top. The tying run is at third base, and Loesch shoots one over the Cardinals dugout and into the seats. The reason that you think that the Phillies, even though they've been around 500 all year, could eventually go on a tear is because of guys like Cliff Lee. I mean, their pitching is exceptional, and their bullpen the last week has gotten it together too.
Yeah, a lot better, but the other aspect is they're missing Utley and Howard.
Sure. Loesch is not making many friends near the Cardinal dugout as he's put a couple screamers into the seats.
He appears to be all right there. Usually what happens is everyone jumps up in front of you and be the guy to barehand the ball, and then last second they bail out, and unfortunately somebody's not paying attention gets hit.
2-2. Last year Cliff Lee was 17-8. Over 230 innings. He had career highs in strikeouts and innings. And at one point, amazingly, he had 10 combined starts in June and August. And in those 10 starts, he gave up a total of 3. Say that again, 10 starts and a total of 3 runs. That's up the middle, slowly hit, tough play. Loesch is digging, and he is out. Specialist Dominic Ashley with a message as we head to break.
Specialist Dominic Ashley with the 175th MP Battalion, Camp Oscillate Guitar. I want to give a shout out to my daughter Ava, my friends and family back home. Go Birds.
Louis, Missouri, Busch Stadium. And we are going everywhere tonight, across the United States and across the world. Afghanistan is watching us tonight. This one's for you, our annual telecast to the troops, early in the morning. But 5 o'clock. Here's Carlos Ruiz, and there's a strike at the knees.
You know, Dan, it's appropriate to bring this telecast on Memorial Day weekend. Everyone reflect on.
The curveball is popped up. Shallow center. Who wants it? For Kyle going out, and Rafi's got it.
Once again, you want Robinson to take charge on there. It's easier play for an outfielder coming in than a shortstop backing up. Something you got to learn. If you're going to be a center fielder, you got to take charge. And even though you got a veteran there that you respect, you still take charge because you're the center fielder. But I was going to say that we need to thank everyone that has protected our country and all the veterans. And think about all the men and women that fought communism and now the terrorism. It's just appropriate to have this telecast on Memorial Day weekend. And remember those who gave the ultimate sacrifice.
Shane Victorino looks at a ball inside. 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 out, nobody on, and a 2-1 lead for the Phillies. And from a baseball perspective, we picked a pretty good game here with the Phillies and Cardinals, 2 teams that met in postseason play last year, and a classic Game 5 and a thriller between Halladay and Carpenter. It's one of the great games that this franchise has ever seen as far as pitching is concerned.
I was talking about last night. I said, you know, in a game that saw 19 runs, Phillies win 10-9. 18 hits for the Phillies, 15 for the Cardinals. So I guess the young kids, you know, they like that kind of baseball. But to me, it was what you just talked about. Game 5, the 1-0 game. 2 great pitchers, former teammates, Carpenter and Halladay, you know, just doing battle.
Broken bat. Adams has to get back to the bag. Memorial Day weekend and the War Memorial in downtown St. Louis. The troops appreciated that, over 7,200 miles away. And here is Ty Wigginton. They really miss Ryan Howard in this lineup. He had 38 go-ahead RBIs last year. Wigginton has got some pop. We saw him homer last night. He has 3 this year. And he's hit at least 15 in 6 different seasons in the big leagues.
Bounced around, and as you said, he's got that little pop. You have to respect his power.
Hits it sharply to third. Cardinals will have the top of the lineup coming up for Kyle, Green, and Halladay. This one's for you. Our annual telecast to the troops. No matter where you go, the wave is still a fan favorite. Some people may like it, some may not, but over in Afghanistan, they got the wave going. It looks like the sun is starting to shine inside that room, too. Nightfall upon us here in St. Louis.
Now they're being shown on the big screen here at the ballpark, and now the family section.
The 13th MP company stationed at Fort Leonard Wood be deploying in a few months, potentially to Afghanistan, Kuwait. Those are small squads, 8 to 12 soldiers, provide security services, very much like the U.S. Secret Service for key Department of Defense and Department of the Army officials wherever they travel around the world, and those folks were on the field before the game. 0-1 pitch to Fractal is a breaking ball. He hits it out to deep left. And this ball is off the top of the wall, and it's a home run. A line shot by Fractal. It carries out of here. We're tied up at 2-2.
There for call, and this is going to be at least more than likely reviewed. Raphael's, there's the gauntlet. I don't call it the receiving line, but jumps on this breaking ball from the right side. That's his power side. Looks like it hits the back advertising part of the wall. Should be a home run, but I'm sure Charlie Manuel is going to ask for a review.
Al, the third base umpire is Rob Drake, and right away, I was looking at him. He did not hesitate. He called it a home run. So just by his reaction and quickly calling it.
Oh, they're going to review it.
Yeah,
this
they
is
will.
One of the few areas that they can review. But I think that you're going to see that it clearly goes over the home run line and then goes off the Missouri Lottery.com side.
Baseball was looking at expanding replay with trap balls, fair or foul down the line, fan interference everywhere inside the park. They'd like to do it in 2013, but there's a lot of challenges with that as far as technology is concerned. Like we mentioned before, here we are going to Afghanistan, but can you review certain plays in a ballpark? But they've also talked about having a ruling party, based in New York.
See, it's over the wall, disappears, and then it bounces off that dock advertising and back onto the field. So they see that, they'll let the play stand as it should, and we have a tie ball game at 2-2.
You and I were calling a historic game because it was Memorial Day down in Florida.
Frank Pulley
went back to a camera to get a review.
He got in trouble for doing so, but it led to this home run review now, and he got the play right. It was a very difficult off the left center field extended scoreboard where they have the out-of-town scores, and Frank Pulley, nobody in his crew really saw it well, so they went to the dugout camera and asked for a review, and the home run by a Cardinal player stood. He got in trouble, but now they've got this rule in place, but we saw the very first one before it was legal.
And for all sports that go to replay, basketball, football, now baseball, the biggest concern that you have is just a break in the momentum of the game. And probably none bigger, Al, than what the pitcher has to go through just standing out there on the mound. It is a warm evening here in St. Louis, but now Cliff Lee has just taken his first toss to the plate just to stay loose. But that's a factor of this as well.
Sure, you just don't want it to last that long, and I will say this: the few replays that we have seen don't last a very long period of time. They get it correct, and I'm really surprised it's even taken this long. And now you see it coming back out, and I'm sure they'll signal a home run. Well, nice going, seeing Cowboy.
So for Kyle, who had 7 home runs in 50 games, you got to like the 2 guys in yellow. We're going to hear their delay in about 10 seconds, but anytime you can do a chest bump in Afghanistan, that's a good thing. Watching Cardinals baseball.
Clearly over the wall, hit the back advertising. There's about a 3-foot gap in between there and then back on the field. But all he has to do is hit over the first wall.
Here's Tyler Green. It's a 2-2 game. Bottom of the 3rd. You see at the bottom portion of your screen the tweets that are coming in, the hashtag "This One's For You." One ball, one strike on Green. Looks at a ball low inside. Called out on strikes first time up. And again, those are the fans and family members, friends that are here to see baseball, but also to hopefully be seen on television by those they love overseas. It's a special night, unique. So many times throughout our telecast, you will see the various shots of those in that section of the ballpark. The 2-2. Last year we had the young lady that was in the booth, Al, and having a chance to see and talk to her husband, as we mentioned before. And I mean, it was gripping, you know, the human element of you know, you're sitting there watching a baseball game and you take for granted how lucky we are and what we do. And then to see the young lady come in here and the raw emotion of the first time she had seen her husband in months, maybe over a year, I believe.
Well, you know, when we were watching live, when we saw the marriage proposal, when we saw that, all that drama, I was tearing up, and you called me Niagara Falls, and I always get emotional in this, and I kind of thought about it, and I think it's because at my age, you know, I was in the reserves during the Vietnam era, and I was in the big leagues, and I got into a reserve unit, and what saved my life from not going to Vietnam. And yet there's that part of you that I think every red-blooded American boy really wants to know how he would react to a war situation. I think I'd be a good soldier, but I don't know. And here in an all-volunteer army, you just have to admire the courage and everything that these men and women go through to protect us at home. My parents met in the Navy. My older brother was a Annapolis graduate. So I come from a strong military family and very, very proud of it. But
shot right there embodies why we're here tonight. Little girl, American flag. 1 ball, 1 strike. Holiday shoots one foul and out of play. High chopper towards second base, and it turns into a double play. Nifty footwork out there by Jimmy Rollins. Reminder, we have the U.S. Cellular Adult Cap, and that's coming up tomorrow. U.S. Cellular Adult Cap Night here at the ballpark. And tonight we have Vince Coleman here at the ballpark, part of Busch Bash, and Vince said, I get to come back to St. Louis, still love the game and enjoy it. And he's sitting there with that one guy. It's Todd Thomas. The back of his jersey, that one guy. Everybody says, hey, look, it's that one guy. Vince Coleman's there on the left. Mo.com to start planning your next Missouri getaway. And this is the Liberty Memorial and the World War I Museum in Kansas City. Museum is located under the iconic Liberty Memorial Tower and was designed by Ralph Applebaum. Wonderful place to go. Find out more at visitmo.com. Shelby Fetch and William Johansson join us up here in the booth. And I guess, first of all, I mean, tell me, I'm going to start with you. Okay, the excitement of seeing your future husband. Does that sound weird now to hear that? Your future
Yes,
husband? You didn't know that he was going to be in town. Here he is a couple of days early. What was that like, first and foremost?
Oh, I didn't believe it. I still don't believe it at all.
And then all of a sudden he gets down on one knee. And you did say yes, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
Yes,
we're
I
official on that. Okay, well, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what's going through your mind right now? What are the emotions like for you?
I am still shaken. I can't believe it happened.
And your dad is here, correct?
Yes.
And now, who else was in on this that knew about him coming home?
Both my sisters, my mom, my friends.
How were they able to keep it a secret?
I know. I don't know. I have no idea.
Did you give him any trouble about that, too?
I will be.
Very nice play by Tyler Green. And William, let's go back to you now.
Yes.
What are you feeling right now? Are you nervous, happy, excited? What's going on through your mind?
I was nervous. It kind of comes in waves now. So the big part's over. So
you know, how are we supposed to be? Any guy that's out there thinking about getting married, you know, how can they top something like this? You've just topped anything that could possibly be done.
yeah, I had a lot of help from everybody, from my first sergeant back at downrange, and David here, and all you guys up here, and you guys are really ones that put it together, and I just want to thank you guys.
And we want to bring into the conversation all the way from Afghanistan,
yes,
Nicholas Hagler, and he is the one that introduced you both. Yes. Now, we want to tell you that there is about a 7 to 10 second delay, so if he doesn't answer your question right away, don't worry, he is going to hear it, but I'll ask you, what would you like to say to him about this special night and what's happened here?
Thank you, Nick.
Yeah, I just want to thank him for introducing us and just being a great friend all around all the time.
How did he advise you to do this? What did he say to you?
He just said pretty much do it big. So
and you've done it big.
Yeah.
What would you like also to say not only to him, and I'm going to ask him a question here in just a little bit. Now he's getting your reaction of a question and statement, but here's a ground ball to the right side. Should be an out, and it is. But what else would you like to say to the troops over there that can hear you tonight?
That they're, of course, in our prayers every single day. And stay tough, and I'll be back there in a few weeks.
Nicholas, a little delay here, but what would you like to say to your friends up here in the booth at Busch Stadium in St. Louis?
I'll just say congratulations to both of them, and good job at not choking in front of everybody like that. And I'm really proud of both of you.
Thank you, Nick.
Here's a pitch to Cliff Lee, flied out to left. Nicholas, before we hit to the next break, too.
No problem.
Tell us about introducing these two and now the culmination of seeing them get married. What's going through your mind seeing this?
Well, they met let's see, I think it's probably right when me and Johansson actually became teammates at the time. But they met right after that. But I saw this happening over time, and I knew eventually he was going to ask her. I'm just really proud of him, and I'm really glad that they met each other.
He's a regular Chuck Woolery over there in Afghanistan. Up the middle, and that's a base hit for Cliff Lee. And Nicholas, what would you like to say to family and friends that are watching tonight across the United States?
Well, I'd like to say I love and miss all of you, and I can't wait to see you when I get home. And I also love my wife, Martha Hagler, and I can't wait to see her when I get home.
Can you describe the emotions right now of what that is like right now for them, the men and women watching this, and the kind of joy, hopefully, that we're bringing to them?
Oh, yeah. I know every day it's pretty much just the same routine, working and sleeping, working, sleeping. And just to have something like this to be able to see and talk to your loved one, it means the world to us over there.
What does your work entail? Describe it.
We work actually law enforcement on the base, so make sure people aren't being dumb over there. So
there's a high fly ball into right center, and well, I don't know if we can top this season. Maybe another world championship. I don't know.
There you go. That's what I want.
Congratulations. What an amazing night.
Thank you.
Enjoy it, okay?
Thank you.
Great to have you home, and God bless you guys. Thank you. There you go as we go to break. Nice reaction. Here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. This one's for you, our annual broadcast for the troops. And tonight, troops are in Afghanistan. And let's check in with some of the family members and the friends of those troops and Jim Hayes. Jim.
Yeah, we are with Clara Worth, who is with her 4 kids. Her husband is Sergeant First Class Alexander Worth. He's one of the guys in Afghanistan watching us right now. And first off, you say he might be a little jealous because he's a Cardinal fan. He's never been to this ballpark.
Nope, this is our first time here, and yeah, we're here, and he's not.
This is his 3rd deployment. He's been gone a couple of months. You have 4 kids. That can be tough. I know you have family near you, but you also have a support group.
Yes, the Missouri Family Support Group has been amazing. We've had a lot of ups and downs, and I mean, they're right there to help with anything that we need. It's great.
And how about this broadcast? What does your husband think about getting a little taste of home via the satellite?
He is he's just blessed. I mean, he is very fortunate. I mean, over there, it's such a hard time for them. They had a rough couple of months, and for those guys just to be able to sit down and watch a game, see their families, it's nice.
All right, we watch this ball off the wall.
That one's for you, Alex.
The crowd's going crazy. You guys are going crazy. Before we let you go, your husband's over there. And your kids, you guys want to say anything to your husband and your dad?
I love you, Dad. Love you, honey. Miss you so much.
Throw in a Go Cardinals, too.
Go Cardinals!
All right, guys.
All right, Jim, thank you very much.
Shane Victorino, who is a Gold Glover, he never saw it. He lost this ball in the dust sky. Really, the lights haven't taken effect. He's a Gold Glover out there, but when you can't see it, it's hard to play. And it went off the center field wall, and David Freese gets a triple.
You had a chance to visit with Rich Fetch, the dad of the young lady that just became engaged.
And he was very proud to let William join the family. And then I told Shelby, I said, it was kind of cruel of your mom and dad to not tell you what this was going on. And she said, couldn't believe they could keep that secret.
Yeah. Neat stuff. Fouled back by Yadier Molina. Molina tonight has struck out. Cardinals really catch a break with a guy that, as you mentioned, is as sure-handed as They come in center field at Victorino.
I think his last error was back in the 2010 season. Or in the mouthpiece.
0-1 pitch by Cliff Lee to Molina. Up the middle, it's a base hit. The Cardinals have their first lead, 3-2.
Yadier Molina had 4 hits last night. Here he delivers his 24th RBI to break the tie. Got 2 of the best hitting catchers in the game going head-to-head here in Ruiz and Molina.
We will ask the players to tape messages from time to time for various organizations or children. Need a little pick-me-up. And when it comes to the military, we've never had an issue of a guy say, well, just hold on a little bit, or maybe I'll do it later. Never. Always willing to help and participate. Adams with a high fly ball. Now Pence can't see it. He's struggling with it. Victorino over it. He can't see it. They run into each other.
And look at Molina.
He's on his way to third, and he's going to be out.
Well, Hunter Pence is tied with the most assists in the National League the last 4 or 5 years. So not the guy to run against right there. Molina did a perfect job of reading this and was standing near the second base bag. But then after they collide, no, it's Victorino who shows it. But this is what happens a lot of time. It's right around this time of night. The lights really have not taken effect. So a high fly ball, the infielders, and you saw Galvis really kind of pointing in the air. Victorino saw it, but the right fielder didn't see it. Molina there, you see him take off and makes an ill-advised decision.
Robinson trying to bunt his way on, and the mask of Ruiz is knocked off. Shane Robinson with an RBI double. Victorino having fits out there with the sky and these fly balls.
See, this is what you're looking up into, so it's very important for all infielders to try and help out their outfield. And probably by the end of this inning, it'll be dark enough to where you'll see those high fly balls.
I have a wonderful email from a friend of ours, Christy Spitzmiller, and her son Josh is in the military. She said that their son tells them there are Cardinal fans everywhere throughout the military. Just one of the teams that's talked about the most among all the sports, the St. Louis Cardinals. And she says the funny thing is most military personnel think they are doing their job no differently than you or I and what we do every day. We can't thank them enough for what they do and our appreciation.
One of the neatest things I ever did. And there you see a swinging bunt by Robinson, so he's 2 for 2.
Cliff Lee is thinking I should be out of this inning. Fox Sports Midwest is showing this game without commercial enhancements. We'd like to thank all of our loyal and gracious sponsors for allowing us to bring this game to you and our troops all over the world. With Al Raboski, Jim Hayes, I'm Dan McLaughlin. This one's for you.
In 1997, Darrell Evans, Jerry Kuzman, and Jesse Barfield and myself had the pleasure of going. We started in Germany, went to several bases in Germany, then took a C-130 into Bosnia, went to the equivalent of what Kuwait is now for the Iraq area, went to a former Russian MiG base in Hungary and visited the troops there that were being processed in and out of the Bosnian War, then turned over to the Navy and went to Italy, Sardinia, Sicily, Rota, Spain. One of the neatest trips and experiences I ever had. And we'd go and thank the troops, and And they were saying, no, we thank you for coming over. But it's the other way around. It was one of the greatest trips, and I'd go again on any one of those missions.
0-1 the count on Low Shoes showing bunt. Ruiz is getting beat up just a bit back there with some of these foul tips again. You can see that Cliff Lee realizing more than likely he should be out of this inning. A little bit flustered. That's bunted in the air and an out. He'll play for Polanco. Runners back to the bags at second and first.
That's at least the fourth or fifth out of what should be this inning.
Yeah. Again, we hope our troops have a chance to see family members and friends. And throughout the ballpark, not just in that section. We've promoted this to the point where fans know to bring signs. Hopefully we can see those, and we'll get back to the troops. Solo home run for Rafael Furcal down the left field line. And he is 1 for 2. 2 down, runners at first and second, and a 3-2 lead for St. Louis. Oh, and 2.
When Furcal gets one hit, it turns into a multi-hit game, as he has just been phenomenal as a leadoff hitter.
One and 2 the count on the Cardinal leadoff man.
Furcal leads all major league leadoff men in RBIs. Another real barometer of how good you are as a leadoff hitter is runs scored. And he's second in that department. His team leading 19th multi-hit game last night. Switch hitter, but you can see when he's at the right side, his natural side, you know, he will give you a full cut. And by far, the majority of his home runs are going to be as a right-handed batter. Left-handed, more a slap hitter. Utilizes speed.
Here's a 1-2. Strikeout of Furcal. A special night here on Fox Sports Midwest. We turn it over to Sergeant Evan Becker.
I'm Sergeant Evan Becker with the 463rd MP Company. I'd like to say hi to my wife and child at home. I love you and miss you, and I'll see you soon. Go Cardinals.
Great pitching matchup that afternoon as well. And a poster giveaway, the World Championship poster giveaway. Adam Wainwright 3-5 and Halladay 4-4, and that'll be Sunday. Make sure you get to the ballpark early. Rich Doobie was asked about Roy Halladay. So many people wondering if something's wrong, and he said, wait a minute, the guy is still one of the best pitchers in baseball. We're 2 months into the season, and the expectations have been set so high, they're almost unreachable.
Well, like I said, while he's been on the mound, his teammates have only scored him 9 runs. You know, he had a 2.66, and he gave up 5 earned runs in his last outing, so he's pitching very well. And so is Kyle Loesch.
Brings in Hunter Pence. Really overlooked last year for St. Louis Cardinals is Kyle Loesch. It looks like Shane Victorino is having words maybe with a fan, or is it Lee?
Well, unfortunately, it looks like his starting pitcher.
Yeah.
But you hate to see that. I mean, you can understand you're a little frustrated, but Victorino is a heck of a ball player, and as we said, he hadn't made an error since 2010, and when you don't see it, it's kind of hard to catch it.
A 1 pitch to Pence.
So that's something that I'm sure Cliff Lee would rather no cameras catch it, and really doesn't want to see it, but
they may take that out of the camera's view right now.
I mean, you see Rich Doobie going to go over and tell him, he said, calm him down a little bit.
Now, we saw this past week where Edinson Volquez could not get on the same page with his catcher, and those two were having words.
But
it is visible for everybody to see, and Volquez at one point wouldn't even listen to his catcher.
Well, and in this case, you know, all right, David Freese gets a triple on that ball. Should have been caught, no doubt about it, but there were 4 hits in that inning. 2 of them should have been caught.
Green, a nice play to his left. Catcher Carlos Ruiz. We talked about it. The fact is, those kind of things happen all the time, but these guys know, and it's obvious, you have to take it down the runway, back in the clubhouse where there are no cameras, because we will pick it up.
And I think it's purely just something that, you know, in the heat of the competition, you know, you overreact to something, but I'll defend Victorino in this case.
Not knowing what's said, but just taking a guess. 1-1 pitch. Charlie Manuel spoke to Victorino. Doobie spoke to Lee. It's 2 balls and 1 strike on Carlos Ruiz. I was about to say that overlooked last year, Kyle Loesch led the team in wins with 14. And his ERA, 3.39.
Was also the lowest on the club. Very rare that you go as far into postseason, and in the case of the Cardinals winning their 11th World Championship without at least a 15-game winner.
Nasty pitch.
Yeah, Ruiz just needed 368 and got locked up on an outstanding pitch.
That pitch was up and hammered down the left field line, but foul.
Fooled me once, but can't fool me twice.
Kyle Loesch originally was selected by the Chicago Cubs all the way back in 1996. Went to Minnesota as part of the Rick Aguilera deal. Been with Cincinnati, the Phillies, and now St. Louis.
And we have found when he is healthy, he's been an outstanding find for the Cardinals.
Mike Gersh on the left. He's the assistant GM. John Vooch in the middle runs the farm system. John Mozeliak on the right, and hidden behind that pole is the general manager. A 3-2 pitch. And that hits Ruiz.
But you can see Ruiz, I mentioned it, was hit last night's game. You were talking about a recent game where they were worried about him, but he leads the National League in being hit, and there you can see he doesn't move. He allows that ball to hit him. Doesn't look like he's wearing any padding, so.
Now Shane Victorino. He's tied up, and it's popped up. Catch made by Adams. Cliff Lee back to work when we come back.
Fight and battle pretty loosely over here, and realize there's people putting everything on the line for our freedom, and those are truly people that should be getting autographs asked for, and we understand that in here. This one's for you.
The troops in Afghanistan, many of them from the state of Missouri, Cardinal fans watching tonight. And here is Tyler Green as we move to the bottom half of the fifth. Green, a fly ball into left center, and Victorino will make the catch. The fourth annual Memorial Day Support Our Troops fundraiser is Monday at St. Francis Park Playground in St. Louis Hills, right by Ted Drew's, if you're familiar with that, one of our sponsors. And it's the annual Memorial Day Support Our Troops fundraiser from 10 until 3, and that is going to be done with the donations and proceeds going to the USO of Missouri and St. Louis VA Medical Center. Find us on Facebook at Support Our Troops. But again, that'll be Monday from 10 until 3 at St. Francis Park Playground. One ball, one strike on Matt Holliday.
Dan, I know you're probably getting a lot of emails and texts from a lot of our friends and viewers that really appreciate what's transpiring right now.
It's wonderful.
Nice note from Tom Sarsfield, Bill Frost. Said a great Cardinal fan. Dwayne and Lori Capel were at the game, and their son-in-law is deployed in Afghanistan. Marty Watuziak, Colonel Marty, was my aide in Budapest. He was stationed with the embassy in Budapest. His son is here visiting with 3 or 4 of his friends, and he's going to be joining the Air Force very shortly.
Holiday's bounced into a double play and also a walk back in the first. Special guests right now, and let's find out where Mrs. Hillman is located here at the ballpark. Mrs. Hillman, can you hear us up here?
Yes, I can.
Well, I know you have a very special person you'd like to talk to in Afghanistan. Take it away.
My husband, Mark Hillman.
What would you like to say to your husband?
Hi, honey. I love you.
Hi, sweetie. I love you too.
Are y'all having fun enjoying the game?
Oh, absolutely. It's a really great thing to get to watch the game live and be a part of this great thing.
It is awesome. Fox Midwest is doing a great job.
That ball scoots away. Now, I know if you two were on the phone, it wouldn't be this short of a conversation. So just take out, the 1 million+ people that might be listening and go ahead and just have a conversation with your husband. What would you like to say outside of I love you? What would you like to say to him and the rest of the troops and all the family and friends that you're around that maybe you want to get that message across to them?
I think they're doing an outstanding job over there, and I hope they keep up the work and come home safe.
Well, thank you. And, well, we can't do our job unless we know that our family is taking care of it back there. And with you guys as our support back there, we are able to focus on our job over here and get the job done.
Mrs. Hillman, if I may, Mark, I want to ask you, with the ladies and the guys around you, have they seen some of their family and friends on some of the shots that we've had during the game? Have you been able to hear some of the other guys talk about their family or friends?
Yeah, they've seen some of them, and some of them they haven't been able to see. In fact, one of the spouses asked me if they could rotate over there so that they could see some of the others up front.
So you're trying to kick your husband out of his seat?
Well, the spouses are requesting that.
We're just kidding. Tanya Hillman is with us, and her husband is over in Afghanistan. This is David Freese with 2 outs, and the Cardinals have a lead of 3-2. Before we go to our final out, hopefully it's not for a while, Mark, what would you like to say to your wife and also
some other people up front?
What would you like to say to your wife and all the family and friends that are here tonight?
Well, first I'd like to say I love you, and that it was such a great joy to see Samantha, Jacob, Lucas all on the TV sitting there enjoying the game. And we really appreciate your support.
Freese looks at a strike. And a final thought from you, Mrs. Hillman, your children and your family. What would you like to say? Just one final thought before we head to a break.
I have no idea. This is so overwhelming. Seriously, you guys are amazing. I greatly appreciate everything that you've done for us tonight.
God bless you. Thank you so much.
Hey, there's Lucas.
Ground ball hit to short, and we head to another break. 3-2, St. Louis on top. Enhancements, and we'd like to thank all of our loyal and gracious sponsors for allowing us to bring this game to you and our troops all over the world. They have indeed rotated, we understand. There you go. Some new faces up front. See, not everybody can be a trained professional like yourself, Al, and deal with the delay. It's not an easy thing to do. So then we're asking these people that I'm sure emotionally are just fried and trying to convey their emotions on live television with an earpiece and talking to their husband in Afghanistan that they haven't seen.
With a delay.
Yeah, with a delay. And so obviously it's not going to be the easiest thing that one is asked to do, but we appreciate the families doing this and being a part of our special night. 1-2 on Ty Wigginton.
A big hello to Tammy Courtney, who Tammy's prayers have been answered. One of our great sponsors, the Hewlett Tech family. So proud of you, Tammy, and everything's fallen into place for you. Can't be happier.
A 2-2 pitch to Ty Wigginton. Sharply hit again to third. Freeze with it. Makes the play. Remember Kyle Loesch, we were wondering this time last year what kind of pitcher he would become. Exertional compartment syndrome. One of the oddest injuries you will ever hear about in professional sports. And he has a big tattoo just on the right arm, near the forearm. And his muscle wouldn't expand as he exerted effort. So when he was trying to, in particular, throw a curveball or a slider, a cutter, get a little spin on the ball, he just wasn't able to do it. And the tattoo, it's got two parts to it. One is his Native American ancestry, the wing, and the other part, a shot of the globe or the world coming out of the baseball. And he said the theme with that is that there's more to life than just baseball. His family, he said his wife and his children, everything really came into perspective for him, not knowing what was going to happen with the injury. It was such an odd one, and every time you take the ball, it could be your last pitch ever. You never know. So enjoy it, but also enjoy the other things going around in his life. Ground ball hit to short for Kyle. Gloves and throws. Makes the play.
Nice play right there by Ralphie. But you think about that tattoo and the significance, and even on this wonderful night when we're honoring our troops, you know, it's pretty good advice. You know, we have a tendency to think everything goes on in our life is the most important, and yet there is a lot to do, you know, with your family and your friends outside of baseball. And you know, you look at, we said, an all-volunteer army, been at war for 10 years, and just the commitment that our soldiers have made to our great country, preserving our way of life.
Freddie Galvis hits a fly ball out to right. Beltran will make the catch. We will stop our connection as far as being able to talk to the troops in Afghanistan. They will continue to watch on Fox Sports Midwest. To our troops, we say thank you. This one's for you. Come home safe. God bless.
Salute to the troop continues. Al Raboski was telling the story. 2005, Bob Warner, then a sergeant stationed overseas in Iraq. His mom emailed the station saying that Bob's dad was at the game and had a sign. We found the sign, and Bob was in Iraq and got to connect with his father just like that. Guess who's here? Bob, tell us about that moment for you. You're overseas. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on, and you got to connect with family.
Yeah, I got to say, it was a really special moment. I was lucky enough, first of all, to have the time just to watch a Cardinals game. I got to speak with Joe and Al on air, and you know, it was really neat. And then next thing you know, my family pops up on screen. Such a special moment. I could never take that back. I'll never forget it. But that was probably one of the best experiences during my whole deployment. Just being able to see my family like that.
We should mention then Sergeant, now Officer Candidate Warner. To have the connection like that, obviously it touched you in a personal way, but for the rest of the guys, just to have a little taste of home, what did it mean to them?
Oh, you know, whenever you're overseas deployed like that for a whole year at a time like that, just having a connection back to St. Louis, our hometown, just watching the Cardinals like that, it really means a lot. Some of us, you know, were able to talk to Joe and Al. It's just such a great experience. You know, this program that they do every year is, you know, it's really neat, and I know it means a lot to everyone deployed.
Thank you for you putting your life on the line to protect the freedoms we have here. Congratulations on the promotion.
Thanks, Jim. Thank you very much.
Officer Candidate, guys.
He looks the same, doesn't he?
Yep, and I'll never forget that experience that he had. It was touching to me.
Popped up by Yadier Molina, the shortstop. Rollins going out and makes the catch.
I mean, as a shortstop or an infielder, you go back until you're called off, and
he didn't hesitate, did he?
You can't hesitate. And Juan Pierre, who can absolutely fly, that's a much easier play for him. But obviously, he didn't call off Jimmy Rollins, so Rollins went back on the ball and made the play look easy, and it really wasn't.
Matt Adams still searching for that first major league home run. He averaged RBI every 4 at-bats in the minor leagues.
Well, just great numbers, but he told me yesterday that he's starting to feel comfortable up here, starting to feel like he did at AAA. But to do the 2 hits tonight off a tough left-hander, you know, now I think he's starting to show that, because after last night, 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, you kind of wondered, would you throw him out there against a tough left-hander like Cliff Lee? And Mike Matheny showing great confidence, kind of forced into it now until Alan Craig comes back. But, you know, he's responded with a couple hits.
Lee is 0-2 this year, despite giving up 2 or fewer runs in 4 of his 6 starts. He has pitched very well. Record does not indicate that.
And one of the oddities of tonight, he's got 5 strikeouts, but he has 3 walks. He came in with an 8-to-1 ratio of walks to strikeouts. Struck out 40 and walked only 5.
One of his influences, he was saying the other day, is Arthur Ace Adams. Cardinal fans may know that name because currently he's the pitching coach at Quad Cities, but Lee was at Class A Jupiter, the Hammerheads, back in the minor leagues. And Arthur was saying that Cliff Lee never wanted to come out of a game, and so one of the things that they had to convince him to do was to work harder in between starts, which he has done. He keeps himself in excellent condition, but also he developed the cut fastball, and that cut fastball has been a devastating pitch for him. Cliff Lee, a 4th-round pick by Montreal. Traded then to Cleveland in 2002. Pretty big names in this deal. Lee Stevens, Brandon Phillips, and Grady Sizemore. All part of one side of the deal for Bartolo Colon. He was the centerpiece at the time, and JD's brother, Tim Drew.
Wow. It's always fun to kind of look at a trade half dozen years later.
Yeah. Off-speed pitch hit left side, and Polanco makes the play. Erica Guzman, specialist. Erica Guzman takes us to break here on This One's For You, Fox Sports Midwest.
This is Specialist Erica Rose Guzman from the 175th MP Battalion stationed at Doha, Qatar. I wanted to tell my family from St. Louis, Missouri that I miss you guys, and all my friends that I'll see you guys soon, especially my biggest hero, my dad. I love you guys. Go Cards!
St. Louis Cardinals. Whether we're here at Busch Stadium or on the road, find the tickets you want. Best seats at StubHub. Cliff Lee leads it off. Good ball game. 3-2. as we move to the 7th inning. Mentioned earlier that Charlie Manuel is in his 8th year in Philadelphia. There's a base hit on a pitch that was up. Some wondered if he'd make it through the first year. And now is the all-time winningest manager in Phillies history.
That could be a really rough media town, and it took them a while to understand Charlie's sense of humor, but he's just a super baseball man. Paid a lot of dues, did a nice job managing Cleveland, and even better with the Phillies. I think they all now appreciate what he's brought to the table.
And maybe it's his personality that was perfect for Philly. They didn't realize it at the time.
No. I think his West Virginia humor and everything, just his personality, eventually won him over.
I love it. You look in the media guide and it says hobbies, talking baseball.
And he can talk.
Remember, he was one of the first guys that made it here in the major leagues and then went over to Japan. As a matter of fact, he was set to break a record 1 month as far as home runs are concerned over in Japan. There's a hot shot into right. Catch made by Beltran. They'll throw back to first, and Lee is there. But now they broke his jaw. It was a pitch that later we find out was intentional on Charlie Manuel. Broke his jaw, so he couldn't set the record. But you talk about a tough guy. He had a lot of injuries as a player. He survived a heart attack, kidney cancer, broken jaws, and probably some irate talk show hosts in Philly. So he's done it all. Out to visit is Yadier Molina.
You think about that play that Beltran just made. The anticipation. He caught that ball and was firing back, thinking that, okay, I've got a pitcher running. He may not read the ball that well, and he may stray too far off of first base, and I might be able to double him up. Going to be a double switch as Chambers is going out. Appears to be center field. And Mitchell Boggs will be coming in.
It's our annual This One's For You telecast on this Friday night, Memorial Day weekend. Stay with us. We'll tell you about the changes when we come back. some amazing scenes we've seen here tonight, captured by our crew, Fox Sports Midwest. They've done just a wonderful job in getting this set up to be able to visit with the troops and the families here at the ballpark. Kudos to them. Al Raboski, Jim Hayes, Dan McLaughlin with you, and nice outing by Kyle Loesch. Top of the 7th, it's up to the bullpen, and here we go again with Mitchell Boggs. Again, starting to look better.
Mike Matheny and Derek Lilliquist, Dyer Miller done everything to work on his psychology, his psyche, and try and get him to really, I won't say necessarily believe in himself, but sometimes you watch with a 94, 95 mile an hour sinker, a good breaking ball, you kind of wonder why he gets hit. And it's really more, walking people.
Line drive into left center, and that will get down. Chambers gets it before it gets to the wall. The relay to the plate is not in time. Mentioned that he's an athlete, runs fairly well, and that's Cliff Lee, and he ties it up. It's 3-3. Juan Pierre with the RBI.
His 9th RBI. We got the tie ball game. Remember, part of the double switch is Chambers goes out there. I would probably say he doesn't have as strong a throwing arm as Robinson, and maybe for Call needed to go a little deeper to get out there. Gets the ball in and fires a strike, but maybe he needed to be a little deeper for Call to help out with that relay. For Call has a much stronger throwing arm. And Cliff Lee is out there. He reads it off the bat, sees it's going to be in the gap, picks up his third base coach. Doesn't break stride, or did he? See, he almost tripped around third.
A strike at the knees to Hunter Pence. Had him played up the middle. Green makes the play. Pierre to third. One thing we always have talked about concerning Hunter Pence, he may not be the smoothest looking player, but man, does he hustle.
He hustles, and you can never question his effort. Once again, you say it 1,000 times, but it's so true. You never embarrass yourself when you hustle. All you have to do is run hard 4 or 5 times a day, and as good at athletes as they are, that should become very easy.
The switch hitting, Victorino is on deck, and now it's Ruiz. Looks at a ball a little bit low. 2 outs and a runner at third. 3-3 game here in the top of the 7th.
Two outs, so just work on the hitter. '96. If you're a reliever and you come in with men on base, that first batter you face is so important.
At the knees. On the move, Beltran, and makes the catch. The Phillies tied up 3-3 as we stretch here at Busch Stadium. 5 MP Battalion from Poplar Bluff, and we saw you a couple of years ago. Tell us what this night means for the troops. And by the way, great to see you back healthy and safe.
Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it. This is great. It means a lot to the soldiers, getting to see their families at a ball game, and getting to see what the Cardinal organization and Fox Sports Midwest does for us.
You had a chance to watch on the American Forces Network, and a lot of these shots were shown back to the troops, and it must have been special for you and for all the rest of the guys and gals.
Oh, it was awesome. It was very uplifting, but at the same time, it's kind of bittersweet because you want to be back here with the family.
Sure.
But it's always good to see good Cardinal games, especially with the family there.
Now, tell us a little bit about what you were doing then and what you do now back here in the States.
Well, our mission while we were downrange, we mentored and trained the Afghan Border Police and the Afghan National Police. Had a very successful mission. Brought everybody home safely. But now that I'm home, I'm full-time National Guard. I'm the Battalion Administrative Officer at 205th.
What is the morale like over there?
It's high. It just depends on the leadership, as always. But, yeah, we got good leaders, and they take care of the soldiers.
What number do you – oh, you got an Edmonds jersey.
Oh, Edmonds.
Is that your guy or what?
I love Jimmy.
So you grew up a Cardinals fan, right?
Oh, you better believe it.
Great.
But every time I see Carlos Beltran now, I am so tickled he's with us.
He's pretty good, isn't he?
Oh, he's awesome.
Where were you last year for the World Series?
I was sitting at home. I remember Game 6. My family had all fallen asleep, but I woke them up when David hit that home run.
Chance to see history.
Oh, yeah. It was awesome.
Here's Adrian Chambers, his first plate appearance as Cliff Lee is back to work. No surprise to see him pitching deep into a game. You have a chance, and again, Captain Lance Dell is our guest, to talk to the troops right now directly, because you know they're listening everywhere. Afghanistan, all over the world, throughout the United States. What's your message to them?
Well, just be safe, follow your leaders, trust in what they're doing, trust in the mission. I'd like to say a special hello to Dominic Sansone. He's with the ADT there at Finley Shields. So just God bless them. I hope they all come home safe.
Foul tip, and so they're giving Ruiz a couple of seconds to catch his breath. That guy's been getting beat up the last couple of nights. Foul tips. 1-2 the count here on Chambers. So Poplar Bluff, where you hail, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you grew up a Cardinals fan?
Yes, sir.
And you're a young man as Chambers strikes out, but yet you had 3 little ones at home.
Oh, well, I appreciate you calling me young.
Well, you're a big guy. I don't want to get beat up here, you know?
Not at all. I have 3 boys. Lance Jr., he's 17. Luke is 16. And my youngest, David, he's 10. And he's going to be playing in a tournament this weekend.
I'll tell you what, man, you started young then.
Well, I'm 44. So.
All right. Trying to give you some credit up here. You didn't have to give the
I
age.
appreciate it.
At the plate right now, it's Rafael Furcal, the switch-hitting shortstop for St. Louis, trying to bunt his way on. Nice play by Lee. 2 outs. Just this night and what we're able to do, you know, take us back to having a chance to see it. And what are some of the other things that you'd like to have a chance, and this is back in 2010. I see a big smile on your face right now. Well, that's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, that picture there, it's myself and Sergeant First Class Russell. We're outside Kabul. That's a Queen's Palace you see in the background. That was part of our mission there, was the Afghan National Police. We were training.
Mom and Dad there on the right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I told you about that sir stuff. I call you sir, you call me Dan.
All right, Dan.
Thank you. What are some of the other things that are pick-me-ups? I mean, baseball is as American as it gets, but what else do you get a little taste of over there to brighten your day, so to speak?
Well, it's just who you're surrounded with, your friends. It's always good to know who's on your left and your right, and you're looking out for each other, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, is looking out for your friend on your left and your right, and making sure that they've got you covered.
And I guess getting up at 4 in the morning, no big deal for you guys to watch a ball game?
No, not at all. No, that was good. Major Benson, Chief Greenwalt, and I all watched the game together. and we had a good time.
Did you get loud?
A little bit, but that was okay. We were safe.
I saw some of the troops before we came on the air. It looked like they were eating hot dogs. It looked like some chili maybe over there. I'm thinking, my goodness.
Oh, yeah, they feed us well.
You know, I mean, they're getting baseball flavor over there. You know, you got to get a little taste of it, literally.
You better believe it, and plenty of rippets.
Here's a 1-1 pitch to Green, and it's fouled back. What was it like? And I mean, this is a very tough question, but being away from your family for that long, what is that like in the morale of men and women over there, like for you, being away from your wife and your 3 children?
Well, this wasn't our first deployment. I've been deployed 4 times, so you really never get used to it, but you learn how to deal with things and how to set your mind right before you go. When you've got a good wife and a good family back home, then you don't have to worry as much about them. You can focus on your mission. But there's just little things. Every soldier's different in how they handle it. But we do our year tour, and then we come back home.
Why'd you sign up?
Well, it's something I always wanted to do. If I could have played baseball, I'd have been out there.
Yeah.
But I always loved playing Army when I was young. And that's what I ended up doing. And I feel blessed to work for the Missouri National Guard. It's a good organization. They take good care of the soldiers. I wouldn't want to work for anybody else.
And your children, would you advise them to go down this road, or what's ahead for them?
Well, if they want to go that way, I'll definitely encourage them. Anything that they want to do, I'm going to support them, whether it's sports, academics, or the military.
3-2 pitch here from Lee to Green. Lost his bat. Now, on the flip side of this, what about your mom and dad watching their child do this? How gut-wrenching has it been for them?
It was tough, but they're strong. They have their faith, and they know that I served in the best Army in the world. We're very well trained. We're very well taken care of. So they know that we've been given every opportunity to do what we need to do and come home safely.
3-2, the count on Tyler Green. Lee is at 107 in his pitch count. And he hits it towards short. Tough play here by Rollins. Fires to first, not in time. Captain Lance Dell is our guest. And one final thing. You can go ahead and repeat it if you want, but what would you say to the troops again right now? Go ahead and give them your best message.
Hey, God bless you. Do your mission. Come home safely. Leaders, look out for your soldiers. Soldiers, look out for your leaders. Do what you were trained to do and come home back to your families.
It's great to see you. Thank you for coming by
thank
again.
you so much. Appreciate it.
You bet. Captain Lance Dell with us here on Fox Sports Midwest. It's this one's for you. A 3-3 game. Charlie Manuel talking it over. He still hasn't made the move to go to his bullpen just yet. 108 is the pitch count for Lee, and we talked about it before. The fact is, Cliff Lee goes deep into games, and he stays in games. Just read his lips right there. I don't want to come out of the game. I'm sure Tommy, our director right now, will give you the shots of some of the fans as those two visit. $43,375 tonight. 43375. Packed house here at Busch Stadium on a Friday night. 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. And Holiday looks at a strike. Sometimes you think with Green at first, Al, that hitter take a pitch to allow him to possibly steal. He's not running again, and it's fouled back, and now Holiday is in the hole, 0-2.
Just kind of watching here. Cliff Lee is an experienced pitcher and really has done things to control the running game, giving his catcher a chance, and Ruiz is above average and throwing out runners, but varying his looks, varying his time, and I think Tyler may want to run but can't get the real comfortable jump.
Holiday, high fly ball, out to left. It's at the wall and caught. In Philly, that's probably out. At Bush, it's in his glove. Sargent first class sheared as we head to break. This one's for you.
Hi, I'm Sergeant First Class Shearer, stationed over in Qatar. I want to shout out to my family up in Columbia, Missouri. Go Cards.
Without commercial enhancements, and we'd like to thank all of our loyal and gracious sponsors for allowing us to bring this game to you and our troops all over the world. Al Hrabowski, Dan McLaughlin, Jim Hayes with you. Mitchell Boggs stays in the game, and here's Shane Victorino, the switch hitter.
Reno 0 for 3. Boggs so far, just first batter he faced, Juan Pierre gave up the double that broke the 3-2 lead for the Cardinals.
Now we've become accustomed to seeing Mike Matheny go multiple innings with his relievers. At first, it was shocking after 16 years of how Tony would manage his bullpen, but Mike is really, I think, drastically different in how he's handled this bullpen.
Yes, I agree with you, where Tony would really, he'd do the double switch, but rarely would he leave a reliever in there for multiple innings. And we've seen Mike Matheny leave a guy in there for 2 or 3 innings who's doing the job. And a little bit different, but I always respected Tony and Dave Duncan because I thought they made a lot of pitching changes, many more than they needed to make, but they always had enough arms for whatever happened. They always had enough fresh arms.
You get the feeling too that when you look in that dugout, you see those two talking a lot more maybe than Tony and Dunk during the games. Not necessarily before or after, but Mike is definitely going with the inside of his pitching coach, and Dave Duncan said that he did not make any decisions for Tony. He said all of it was left up to Tony. It wasn't like his pitching coach, according to Dave Duncan. This is according to him. He said occasionally he'd give him some information, but it was on Tony.
And I think that's probably the biggest thing that Mike Matheny's going to have to learn is managing the pitching staff.
Back to Boggs.
And managing the pitching staff really is dealing with your bullpen. Well, Derek Lilliquist, who is been around the Cardinal organization and the rehab coordinator, last year was in the bullpen. I think Mike's going to have to rely on him. But if there's any position that prepares you for handling the pitching staff, it's the catcher. So Mike will catch on very, very quickly.
Ty Wigginton, 1 out, no balls and a strike.
And I think a lot of what you're talking about with Dave Duncan and Tony La Russa was preparation before a game.
Exactly.
Dave had said, okay, here's the guys that I would kind of either need work or, you know, I feel are really throwing the ball well. This would be the first guy to come out of the pen. You know who your closer is, which didn't always know last year.
Especially about this time.
This time it was maybe the beginning of Salas taking over.
And now a year later, you're concerned.
Yeah, and Salas led the ball club with 24 saves. Remember, Sanchez had a roll. Boggs even he got 3 real quick saves. Then he blew a save, and then he found himself in Memphis. And I think that's what transpired there has been part of the process of Mike Matheny trying to build him back up, build him up mentally.
Two and 2. National game of the week tomorrow night. Sunday we'll have it for you on Fox Sports Midwest, and then we're off to Atlanta. Long road trip coming up. Atlanta, New York, and Houston.
10 games plus an off day. And I got a chance, Tim McCarver and Joe Buck will be working the game tomorrow, and I got a chance to congratulate McCarver, former teammates, on making the Hall of Fame. Broadcasters win.
That's tapped foul. A little bit low and outside. A 95-mile-an-hour pitch from Boggs. Go ahead run is on at first.
Polanco, one of our favorites, started in the Cardinal organization, traded to Philadelphia, part of the Scott Rowland deal and his second stint. But Polanco became just the second player in Major League history and the first infielder to win a Gold Glove at 2 different positions. Remember, Darren Erstad did it at first base in the outfield. Polanco's done it at second and third.
A lot of times that's an award given out on reputation, and that tells you a little bit about what people think of Polanco and offense as well.
Yeah, I go back to our favorite story about Kenny Reitz. He used to walk up to Mike Schmidt and say, how do my Gold Gloves look on your mantle? Kenny Reitz would have the best fielding percentage at third base, but because of Mike Schmidt, the Hall of Famer's dominance offensively, and a very fine and outstanding third baseman, but in my mind not as good as Kenny Reitz, the offense would overshadow Kenny's defense, and Mike would end up with the Gold Gloves. But still, a very, very good defensive third baseman.
1 ball and 1 strike on Polanco. They shade him to right. Big gap in left center. He hits one in the gap, and the Phillies could have themselves a lead.
I told you the story about Jim Fregosi, who was a very good fielding shortstop, who had a chance to see Brooks Robinson play all those great years, the great third baseman for Baltimore and Hall of Famer.
Hit to short, get the lead man, and the turn is in time. time. They turn the double play. Arm strength of Tyler Green.
National Guard ADT 6 here at Finley Shields, Afghanistan. I want to give a shout out to my beautiful wife Lisa, my 3 wonderful children, Courtney, Emily, and Alex, all from Jackson, Missouri and Cape Girardeau area. And I also would like to shout out to my co-workers at the Attorney General's office in Cape, as well as the Bank of Missouri where my wife Lisa works. Thank you all for all of your support. Go Cardinals.
You come to the ballpark, you watch a game. Who's going to win? Ooh, Dad just won. Rock just won.
Break scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors. Now take a nap. Here's Carlos Beltran, and Contreras takes over. Contreras, he's got that nasty splitter. You see the splitter grip that he starts with. Also is a guy that used to be able to throw mid to high 90s, and they tell us he's still throwing pretty hard.
Yeah, he's coming off of elbow surgery, and began the season on the disabled list. Had the surgery last September. It wasn't Tommy John, but whether it was bone chips or something, and still trying to get the feel for pitching, but of late he's pitching much better. And he's still, I remember seeing him last year before the elbow injury. He was very impressive.
Here's David Freese.
I was telling you about Fregosi. When he managed Philadelphia, everybody told him how great Mike Schmidt was. And Fregosi couldn't, he goes, I can't believe he was better than Brooks Robinson. So I happened to be with Fregosi when at a function with the alumni, and Jim Palmer and Boog Powell were there, 2 Brooks Robinson teammates. And he asked them, well, who's better, Brooks Robinson or Mike Schmidt? And Boog Powell said, oh, it's obvious, Brooks Robinson. He had a horrible body. The ball would hit him in the chest and fall right to his feet. Mike Schmidt was rock hard. His body was just, finely tuned and lifted a lot of weights. The ball would hit him and carry him 25 feet away. So it was obviously the bad body of Brooks Robinson was the better fielder.
Even I may win that argument against that. You go back and you look at some of the highlights of Brooks Robinson and the plays that he made down the third base line or in foul territory. Just amazing.
Absolutely. And had that ability after diving, fielding the ball, blindly getting up and throwing a strike to first base.
Yeah.
And what a great individual.
Came to your golf tournament a couple of times and was extremely nice to fans. I mean, when they tell you that you're the best ever at something at this level, I mean, that's a pretty amazing statement, and many believe, I'd say most believe, he's the best defensive third baseman of all time.
He has the most gold gloves, that's for sure.
2-2 on David Freese. And he strikes out, 2 away.
And you see that real tight slider, and that's what, we talk about Wainwright, the secondary pitches, takes a while to get the feel for. Much more difficult surgery at Tommy John, but even so, having an elbow surgery like Contreras is going to be trying to get the feel for your secondary pitches, and of late Contreras is starting to really show you he can dial it up.
Mentioned in the last 7 games for this Phillies bullpen, 1.86 ERA. And Al, you were here last night with Rick, and you had a chance to see the new closer, Papelbon. What did you think?
Well, I remember earlier in the season they couldn't get to him. He's 12 or 13 for 13 now in save opportunities.
Molina with a base hit into center. His average is on the rise. RBI tonight, 2 hits. Finish your thought on Papelbon.
Well, I think the more I hear about him, he's an excellent closer with Boston. And here you see Adi loading up on the backside, puts that foot down, and just a nice little controlled stroke. And a solid base hit up the middle is second. He's got his average up to 318. And Charlie Emanuel is going to pull out one of his 4 lefties in that pen.
Saying that the protection of our country and having kids and a family, and I'm obviously very appreciative of what they do and putting their lives on the line every day, and I can't imagine the courage that they have to do that. This one's for you.
Matt Holliday and the Cardinals, and it's our annual This One's For You telecast on Fox Sports Midwest. Matt's former team, the Rockies, defeated Cincinnati tonight. Johnny Cueto, 5 earned runs and 4 2/3. He's given up 13 runs in his last 3 starts.
Jake Diekman comes into this ball game. We saw him last night. He's a rookie and a strikeout artist. See the high ERA, but that's only because he had 1 bad outing against the Cubs. Less than an inning, gave up 4 earned runs. And he's been very tough on left-handed batters. They're 0 for 7 overall. Batters are 2 for 17. At 10 strikeouts in 5 innings with the Phillies. He was at AAA to start the season. That was his first year. He was drafted by the Phillies in the 30th round of 2007.
1-0 pitch to Adams. He hits a rocket into right center. Molina to second. On his way to third. They're going to wave him in. Here he comes. Relay to the plate. He is. Oh, what a collision at the plate. And Ruiz holds on. He's out. Molina dishing out a blow to Ruiz. He holds on. A relay to perfection here, started by Victorino.
And then it's to the young second baseman who's really been outstanding. And he gets a one hop to Ruiz, and he had just enough time. You know, Yachty doesn't have top speed. He'll run as hard as he can, and usually when he gets a little head of steam, he can do a lot. Started looking at where the ball was right there. Had just enough time. Look at Holiday. Come on, come on. Whip him. I think it's the Kentucky Derby right now. Or is it the Preakness? And a heck of a collision, but Ruiz had enough time to prepare for it. And you can see now that it was worth sending them, but Ruiz fielded his position perfectly. When you talk about a catcher, now watch how he'll fall backwards. Now he got hit pretty good, but he had that technique of falling backwards to take a little of the blow away. And just a bang bang hustle play, hard nosed play right there. Either way, Chambers taking charge.
In steps Fontenot. Descalso is over at first base. And Mike Fontenot will be the hitter. New pitcher, obviously, is Jason Mott. Ruiz has been beat up the last 2 or 3 nights. Mentioned the foul tip that they thought may have been a broken bone, but he gets to stay in the lineup because it wasn't. He's had 2 or 3 of those today. Those foul tips, and Fontenot hits it sharply to short, backhanded by Furcal. Oh, that's a nice play.
Definitely a nice play right there. Hit hard. Ralphie backhands it, and then he still has that strong throwing arm and threw him out by plenty.
Ironically enough, the one-year anniversary of the Buster Posey play, which is with the Giants and Marlins, and a lot of people, as we talked about in the most recent road trip, talked about the fact that maybe they should implement a rule on how you go into catchers, but
you know,
I'm just not sure how you do it, Al.
Well, you can't. And I remember that Mike Matheny, who obviously was a Gold Glove catcher, said there's a technique of how to do it and how to keep yourself from getting hurt.
See if the Cardinals can't walk off with a win. Bottom of the ninth coming up. Committed a couple of errors, led to some runs, but you've had some misplays on balls that should have been caught that were not ruled errors because they never got to them. Lost, though, the high sky, so tit for tat, right?
Valdez got the win last night. I'm going to test your memory. Do you remember when Valdez pitched for the Cardinals?
Last season.
You see, you can remember that.
He was here for under a month, and we had, at that time, I believe, with St. Louis, 3 different lefties in the bullpen.
And really just, when you remember that, I thought it was a couple years ago. But he really wasn't here that long, and
I remember you
looked like he had a sore arm.
I remember, yes. I was just about to say you talking about a sore arm or he throws it like an infielder.
Yep.
Right?
He looked like an infielder pitching in a blowout. But he's done a nice job with the Phillies, and as I said, he got the win. That was his first win in a couple years. So left-hander batters in check.
I'll put it to you this way. I don't really remember all that well the Valdez era in St. Louis.
It wasn't a celebration that he's returned.
It was not.
And he's pitching well for Philadelphia's overall opponents are 1 for 17 against him, and left-handers 0 for 6.
Scalzo does have 1 home run. That's popped up out of play. That's what made the trade for Zepchinski such a vital deal at that time. Remember, you had Miller, Talent, Valdez. They finished the season with Arthur Rhodes and Zepchinski. John Mozeliak would later say that, and we really didn't know much about Mark Zepchinski.
No.
But he said if they didn't include him, the deal would not have been done. Kobe Rasmus is, yeah.
You know, and Kobe Rasmus, who a lot of people thought the Cardinals were crazy to give up on such a young talent. He hasn't done much at all.
There's a base hit into right. Winning run is on.
That's what I remember. But actually, his numbers with St. Louis weren't that bad, but just didn't look like he had much to get people out with.
Seen Chambers drag bunt with that very good speed. You know, sometimes those guys that can drag bunt, they struggle with the sacrifice.
It's so true. They just can't sit there and wait and let the ball come to them. They're running out of the box. Pretty good.
Perfect bunt and makes it close at first. Boy, did he get down the line. So the winning run is at second base.
So nice going, just fundamental baseball. No one warming up for the Phillies, so he does get that bunt down, pulls it down the line. One of the reasons here, you know, a lot of times a left-hander will kind of momentum fall to the third base side, and Wigginton came in. He gave a look to see if he could get Descalzo at second, and almost cost him at first. Jack Qualls, who we saw in yesterday's game, you know, no one warming up for the Phillies. Kind of surprising with the right-handers.
On their feet here at Busch Stadium. Love to see all the fans head home happy, especially those folks.
And their loved ones watching around the world.
For Kyle tonight, the ground out home run that just snuck over the wall and left. He struck out and grounded out. That is the winning run. Descalzo at second base. It might be nobody else that you'd want at the plate right now than Rafael Furcal, line drive hitter, piling up the hits this year. Usual suspects would be in that conversation with Beltran and a healthy Craig and Berkman, but this guy's been very good.
As I said, he got an RBI tonight on that home run, 22 in the year. That's most in the major leagues by a leadoff batter.
The 2-2. Now, Al, if you're Valdez, is there anything that you even put close to the zone? You've got first base open. His run wouldn't even matter. Would you rather deal with Tyler Green?
A lot of times you think when you run it 3-2, you know, it's sometimes better to work a straight count, because that run represented by Furcal doesn't mean anything.
Exactly.
The winning run is out at second base, and usually when you see the amount of pitches that Furcal has, going to be 6 pitches already. You know, he's pretty much got your time. You've seen what your breaking ball. He's seen everything like that. And a lot of times you always run a 3-2 pitch, you're going to see an off-speed pitch. It's easier to command your fastball.
(3-2) inside to Furcal. Now, the other part of this is what you do inside that dugout for Charlie Manuel, meaning where do you want to position your outfielders with Descalzo, the potential winning run at second base. And right now he's just playing this straight up.
Playing straight up. They haven't moved. They're not extremely deep. Big gap out in left center. sure the first time that Tyler Green is facing Valdez, and that advantage is to the pitcher.
Green would be very hard to double up. Holiday on deck. Tyler has seen his average jump up to 242. Been on base twice tonight with a walk and a single.
Got his first game-winning hit earlier this week. Can he make it 2?
Oh, 2.
Tough to take that pitch there. Good hitters, not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. Just 88 miles an hour. We'll say Valdez has a little more life on his pitches than I remember.
1-2 pitch to Tyler Green. Just missed inside. Valdez, a long look back at our home plate umpire. He's saying, wait a minute, earlier in the count, that was a strike.
Tyler's starting to see a few more pitches now, start gauging the velocity.
A 2-2 pitch, and that is low.
From 0-2 now to 3-2.
You would think Green is going to get something to hit here with Holiday on deck.
You would think. Much rather have Tyler Green. You know, if you're the Phillies, you'd rather have Tyler Green beat you than a proven RBI machine in Matt Holliday. I think the crowd wants to go home. Cincinnati already lost, so the Cardinals could regain first place.
Strikeout of Green. Inside, inside, inside. They just kept on pounding him in, and this one catches the corner. 2 down, and here's Holiday.
I'm sure Tyler Green was saying, he called a couple balls on me in the same location. That one had been down a little bit, but borderline pitch. You'd like to see Tyler be aggressive in that situation. That'll take a 2-out hit by Holiday.
Nobody up and throwing for the Phillies in their bullpen, so even if they wanted to pitch around Holiday, turn around Beltran, doesn't matter. And from either side, Beltran has been effective this year.
You would think you'd take your chances anytime on Matt Holiday against a left-hander throwing under 90 miles an hour.
You bet. Only a 204 hitter, though, this year with runners in scoring position.
Does have 32 RBIs, though.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. I'm with you, Al. I think this lefty is throwing. It's either harder or they're you know, it's more of a sneaky fast that we're seeing.
He is what you would describe as sneaky fast. Is he hiding the ball, slinging it up there, and short arms it. Looks like it's harder than the actual radar reading. Two 2-1. Love to see it at 3-1 count.
Two 2-1 pitch. Strike to Holiday, and he can't believe it.
Boy, that looked like it was a lot further inside than. Boy, Holiday can't believe that one. And look at Foxtrax. Verifies Holiday's eyesight, not Joe West.
Will he go back inside on this pitch? Trying to pound these righties in. Time is called. Now Holiday feels he has to protect the plate. Certainly inside pitches. Here we go.
Rally cap. Go home on this 2-2 pitch.
On its way. Holiday strikes out. We've got extra innings coming up.
In Finley Shields, Afghanistan. I'd like to do a shout out to my wife Lori Craig and Kendall Craig in Mokane, Missouri. I'd like to also tell them I miss and love them, and I'll give my wife permission to watch Melina in every game she wants to watch. Go Cards.
Thank you, Master Sergeant. And we go extra innings. Is Mott working his second inning. David Freese playing way in on the grass, trying to take the bunt away from Juan Pierre. Not throwing strikes. He had a very efficient ninth inning, 3 up, 3 down. A nice play by Percal, but You see Juan 1 for 4. It reached base 2 extra times on errors. The Cardinals have committed the only 2 errors in this game.
So Juan Pierre against Jason Mott. Second inning of work for Mott. Only threw 6 pitches in the ninth. And I bring that up because I know you're a huge fan of pitch counts and making sure that your closer only goes 1 inning.
Oh, no. And I had an interesting conversation with Tom Henke, who was at the ballpark today, and he was kind of getting on me a little bit for not giving my true feelings.
You?
Oh, yeah. And it was in a good way, but as Tom was saying, you know, when I know you can't stand it when a guy is pitching an inning, a third, and probably doesn't need 1 or 2 days off. It's your job to be ready every day. A manager knows when you need a day off, but part of the fun of pitching is pitching when you know you're not at 100%.
The 2-2, liner and a base hit. So Pierre is aboard.
Fastball up, and that's where you want to pitch Juan Pierre, because he doesn't have much power, so you're hoping he hit the ball in the air. But good piece of hitting as he hits a line drive.
Pence is swinging it away, and he hits it down the right field line, and it's a home run.
Today's closers are so used to only throwing 1 inning, and sometimes going back out that second inning, you don't have quite the same stuff. Hunter Pence been held pretty much in check. He was 0 for 5 last night, 0 for 4 until hitting the 2-run home run.
Raul Valdez was able to pitch out of a jam in the bottom of the ninth. And now the Phillies lead it by the score of 5-3.
And he could get to his second victory in 2 nights. All because of Mr. Pence.
Go back to the Holiday at bat. Fox tracks clearly show that the pitch was way inside, and calls out a strikeout, and all of a sudden it changes the whole look of that at bat.
It really does. And I mean, people say it's 1 pitch, but it really psychologically changes the dynamics of a game, especially when you have the potential winning run out in scoring position. Umpires really tuck themselves in on the inside part of the plate. Sometimes it seems like the pitch that they should be able to see the best is they don't see it as well, or inconsistent. And then they have to kind of guess on the outside part of the plate because they're hiding behind the catcher inside.
Victorino, a hot shot to Descalso. He'll take it himself. Daniel was telling us the other day that playing first base for him is not foreign territory. Did that quite often, in the minor leagues.
Didn't he also say that, the one year he played more at first than he did the other infield positions? And looked like it right there with that hot stab.
Ty Wigington with 2 down. Cardinals looking ahead with a Beltran, Freeze, and Molina. Had to come back multiple times last night. We'll have to do so again in the bottom of the 10th.
That's one thing we've seen, that Mike Matheny can be very proud that they play really a hard 9. Something that Tony La Russa always preached, and they still do it. They're not going to give up. May not be able to finish the deal and tie this game or win it, but you aren't going to question their attempt. And Papelbon will try and pick up his 14th save.
Strikeout. Mott gives up the home run, and Jonathan Papelbon is coming in. For the Phillies this season. All-Stars spent 7 years in Boston, 219 saves. But really no love lost between he and the organization and their fan base. Mayberry takes over in the outfield.
Papelbon recorded 30 saves in each of his first 6 full seasons. Became the first major league pitcher to ever do so when he got 31 saves last season. Very high success ratio. This year he's 113 for 13, but in his career 232 saves and 261 opportunities for a career 88.9 save percentage. That's 3rd highest among active pitchers. You'd have to think Rivera would be at the top.
Beltran is 0 for 4 tonight.
The Cardinals got their work cut out.
It's the richest contract for a reliever in baseball history, awarded to Papelbon. Well, the trend now in Major League Baseball has been young closers and not giving out that kind of money.
and really trying to find somebody in your organization, as history of relievers is really kind of, you know, very short.
Popped out to the left side. It's playable. Very casually and making the catch, Mayberry.
During the Roost and Dave Duncan, when they were with Oakland, they invented the one-inning, you know, closer. And almost a guy who had really only pitched about 60 innings a year. Take much better care of the closers. But yet we've talked about that there are some that feel that need to change the save rule, that sometimes a reliever will enter in the, you know, 7th, 8th inning, what we think of as a setup man, and may face a more difficult time. And there's some talk about possibly awarding the save to someone who doesn't necessarily finish the game, but somebody who saves it during the course of the game. The rule has been modified several different times, and that gets real subjective.
Sure does.
There are some managers who believe that, you know, a game is won or lost in the 7th or 8th inning, so why do I save my best weapon? Why don't I pitch him then instead of saving for the 9th?
0-1 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike on David Freese. Papelbon will be remembered for closing out the 2007 World Series for the Red Sox, but also blowing a postseason opportunity. Final game of last year for the Red Sox. One pitch.
Wicked. He's got the fastballs. He really hides the ball well and sneaky fast. It's also a 93, 94, and then he's got that real wicked breaking ball. Calls himself in the 3rd person, Cinco Ocho. Why isn't he left-handed, Dan? Start coming up with those things and
get your own characters.
Yeah, you got to be left-handed to do that.
This guy just throws smoke. One of the hardest throwers in the game still.
So Ruiz shaking off, telling Papelbon to shake it off.
And the 2-2. Papelbon goes to the National League East now. And the very tough American League East and all the matchups over the years with the Yankees. Now he goes into a very tough division in the National League. The Phillies now are starting to put some wins together. Charlie Manuel saying before the game that he believed that last night could be a turning point for their team. Up by 6 runs, and then eventually they held on. Molina, remember, had that collision with Ruiz. You wonder if that was just a little message back from Papelbon.
Possibly, and just a little bit gamesmanship there.
Watch Yachty take a cut so many times after he's backed off the plate.
That's how
Next
you respond.
Pitch. Yep. That's up and in.
And that's how, you know, players can police the game themselves. They don't need the umpires. The umpires usually will add to a situation and inflame it in an effort to try and stop something. They most of the time inflame it. And
(3-0). Now, as you well know, having been around the game for so many years, there are times when you do take care of those things, you police it yourself. But in this situation, he's gone to 3-0. You know, you may walk him, and then all of a sudden you bring the tying run to the plate.
Right. And that's a no-no.
You can see Ruiz and Molina having a conversation between pitches.
And maybe talking about dinner plans, or maybe like, hey, those first two were kind of in on me. Are you trying to hit me? Ran into him, and some people might say, why didn't you pinch run for Molina? But
little grounder left side, and this could do it. It will. Phillies win it. They hold on 5-3. Hunter Pence with an opposite field home run.
Still getting a little concerned about the Cardinal bullpen as it's leaking, especially in tight games. They're having a hard time.
Special night here on Fox Sports Midwest. This one's for you. Plenty more to come here from Busch Stadium.